Think of the external world as the shadow of your inner man. As you walk alongside the sun, you made a shadow that you can't control, touch, or physically through your senses move or displace. The 3D world is your shadow. It's not meant to ever be forced or played around with, and shadows can only emit itself in relation to the object that has blocked the light ray. Becoming more mindful of your waking state better allows you to see the shadows that occupy the spaces around you, but it also allows you to eventually develop a sense of detachment to the people and the figures around you. If inwardly your inner man believes in the shadow, then it's like a little child being scared by essentially an imaginary figure. That's not to say your 3D challenges are silly or aren't serious even, but it is to say that so oftentimes the arrow that strikes us hardest is when our minds make the shadow world even worse than the situation actually is, and so we inflict even more damage by mentally giving ourselves that damage. So how do you see the shadow world? Well, you have to see it in relation to the inner man, and the relationship between the inner man and the shadow. Like a shadow haunts you, your old material beliefs makes you frightened. But it's like a shadow that your mind exaggerates into this monster. In many ways, to face the shadow is to face the illusory monster, and to seek refuge within your inner light. How to do this? Well, when you're on a mental diet, wishing love for yourself and others, you're cutting off the side of you that is addicted to negative emotions, and instead replacing it with a sense of deep love. The Greeks call this agape, love for all men. And so when you access universal love, when you meditate upon your inner light, when you are mindful of pain, when you're mindful of 3D, when you read many spiritual books, including Neville, you are slowly unknotting the tightened ties that the rope of the material has caught you in. You turn fear to love, knowing that its dwelling place is inside you, and it is your choice on what you feed on. Slowly you become more lucid. When you see the 3D, you naturally start to see the shadow, and you gain back conscious control by inwardly going within to tame the flames that you see outwardly, changing your beliefs, repetition through visualization, etc. is providing the subconscious foundation to reflect and be mindful of the 3D. And this is not to deny the 3D. You do not need to deny the shadow, but simply understand that's all it is, a shadow. Denying your 3D when it doesn't feel natural might not help you. But being mindful of breathing through the 3D, not reacting because you're finding stillness inside yourself, well, then the 3D becomes an impermanent and passing thing. How quickly can a shadow dissipate? How quickly can a shadow disappear? Your external circumstances are not permanent. You don't need to pretend it doesn't exist, but rather build up the idea on presence to know it's a shadow, a copy. And what is a copy? A thing that is made identical to another. So change yourself, and the external changes. The external becomes the copy of what's inside you. Neville never says that there wouldn't be blows, pain, or imperfections, but he did offer you the tools to ride the waves of existence. Being mindful of the here and now, similar to Eckhart Tolle, is a lifelong tool that will benefit you. Do not fight with shadows. Observe them, but do not fight.